Hey, tonight I'm angry about the coming government crackdown, and you may be in favor of it because you think that there are extremists lurking about and there should be a crackdown on them. But I will point out to you that everybody considers the other side to be wrong, and if you authorize or approve or agree that there should be laws used domestically to treat American citizens as terrorists or potential terrorists, then you are part of the problem. Because the fact of the matter is that whichever party is in power, eventually the other party will gain power and you will be considered an extremist. Whichever side you're on, everybody ultimately will be considered an extremist because it is in the government's interest to keep us pliable and compliant. And this is the way that they do it. For example, let's look at what happened after the attack of 9/11. We immediately passed laws that enabled us to treat foreigners as suspicious and worthy of rough attention. We are about to treat our own citizens the same way. Now, you may disagree with half of the country. As a matter of fact, if half of the country disagrees with the other half, then whichever half you're in, you are disagreeing with the other half. And the fact is that if you are part and parcel and a party to our government treating half of the country as potential terrorists, then it's only a matter of time until you also are treated that way. You know, this slippery slope is a topic that we've covered on many occasions here, and I will point out to you that government is always looking to increase their power over us, as you would if you were government. You would want a population that was pliable, compliant, obedient, and this is a way of ensuring that the population is that. If not fear, then punishment. Here is a bulletin from the Department of Homeland Security of about a week ago, and they point out that extremists are dangerous and should be looked at very carefully. Specifically, they mention extremists who have objections to government authority and the presidential transition, as well as other perceived grievances fueled by false narratives. Now, this phrase, false narratives, is the scariest part of this bulletin because a false narrative is any story that does not conform to the official government story. And for those of you who think that the official government story is always correct and infallible, I will remind you that over the last year alone, there are numerous examples of the government issuing conflicting advice to us. For example, don't wear a mask, and then not only wear a mask, but wear a mask or be punished. The government is not consistent. The government is not forced to be consistent. They are always aware of opportunities to increase their power over us. I don't care if they are Democrats, Republicans, socialists, communists. Every single government group wants to increase their power over the local population. And if you stand by mutely while half the country is persecuted because they don't believe the official narrative, I can assure you that very shortly, your half of the country will be persecuted because the official narrative will change. It invariably does. It's very dangerous when we start seeing our local population, our citizens, as extremists, as potential terrorists, as insurrectionists even. They are not. People had differing opinions. This protest in Washington is being used as a pretext to increase the powers that government has over us all. Please don't fall for it. The laws that we agree to today to punish those that we think are wrong are the same laws that will be turned against us in the future. We've seen numerous examples of this, from computer hacking, where the government originally started by going after pedophiles and arms dealers, and now they're going after everybody. We've seen numerous examples of government overreach, and this is just the latest. If half of the country becomes the enemy of the other half, we are all enemies to each other. Don't let government split us up. We need to stay united. We are the United States of America, not only our government. It's time for us to stand up for what the United States of America represents, and that is the right to have your own opinion, the right to get your own information. It's important to understand that whatever side of the issue that you're on, whether you're in the half of America that celebrates our new president, whether you're in the half of America that is mourning the departure of the previous president, we are being turned against each other. It happens all the time, whether it's the pro-life, pro-guns, pro-Trump, anti-Trump. These arguments are just to divide us. If we allow new laws to be passed that allow half of the country to be treated as terrorists, Soon we will all be treated as potential terrorists, just as now we are all treated as potential criminals, having to identify ourselves, having to explain what we're doing. This is a slippery slope, and we're already halfway down it. And the fact that half of the country doesn't seem to see the danger is the biggest danger of all. Please wake up.